Coming up next, a 15-year-old boy facing murder charges tonight in the death of his classmate.
Mission Beach residents rally against vendors all along the boardwalk. What these business owners say they have to say ahead of a new ordinance with the city to take effect.
Neighbors in North Park frustrated over huge puddles of standing water that never seem to go away. What's causing this? We're working for you.
Are cruise ships really dumping waste into the ocean? We verify.
And Del Mar's pet portrait artist Jill Williams is casting a wider web, from puppies to tarantulas.
CBS 8 News, live at 6, starts now.
We're following breaking news tonight out of Mission Beach. Thanks for joining us. I'm Marcella Lee.
I'm Jesse Pagan in for Carla Chiquetto. 2 people have been rescued at Mission Beach. 1 person is still missing tonight. This is a live shot of the area and the scene right there as that rescue and search is happening right now. San Diego Fire Rescue Chief tells us the current in the water took the people out.
We just learned through a news briefing just a few moments ago that 3 people were stepping off of a sandbar and were swept away by that rip current. 1 person, we understand, slipped underneath, and they immediately started searching. That search underway right now for the missing person, described only as an 18-year-old man. We will bring you any updates as we get them, but again, they have searched so far for 70 minutes. Rescue vehicles, surf vessels, scuba dive team is in the water. They're doing line searches and land units. They have a chopper up trying to find this individual. You see the rescue crews out there.
And we do know from that briefing that the current is really something to contend with in that water right now. Officials are saying it's about 70 feet deep, pulling very hard at this point.
Let's send it over now to meteorologist Carlene Chavis, who's been tracking those conditions. Carlene, you said that there was a high risk of rip currents today.
Yes, that's going to be the case as we go into tomorrow's forecast as well. So if you are going to be out there at the beaches, you have to use caution. That's why I always say if you're not a skilled swimmer, you are advised to not be in the water. High risk of rip currents will remain in the forecast all the way into tomorrow. You're also talking about the surf being up to about 4 feet with sets up to 5 feet. So if you do get caught, something to keep in mind is to swim parallel to shore and also remain calm because it can pull you in. Another thing to keep in mind when you are heading out to the beach, that you also have those red flags that are right there at the lifeguard towers, and that helps you to indicate the level when it comes to the risk for rip currents. So you have orange, which is more of a moderate risk, yellow, which is low, and then you also have that red flag that's out there, and that's for a high risk, especially considering the fact that temperatures will remain warm in our forecast. We're getting a little bit warmer by tomorrow. Today we have pretty mild temperatures closer towards the coast with those 60s and 70s. Inland heat in the 80s, even extending to the mountains. Triple-digit heat right back in the desert, and a little bit warmer as we go into the next couple days. More details in your forecast coming up. Marcella, Jesse.
Thanks, Carlene. A 15-year-old boy is under arrest tonight accused of murder. The victim, a fellow student at the same high school.
The shooting happened over the weekend 2 miles away from Mount Miguel High School. CBS 8's David Gofferton reports the victim died 2 doors away from his home in Lemon Grove.
A growing memorial of flowers and candles at the murder scene where a teenage boy was shot and killed around 2 a.m. on Saturday near the intersection of Palm and Mulder Streets in Lemon Grove. 15-year-old Omar Marquez Jr. was pronounced dead at the scene just 2 doors away from his family's home. Friends of the victim continue to show up at the memorial site.
Omar was pure. I don't think he ever had any grudges. He was always happy. He had the biggest smile ever.
He was always happy. He never fought. He always put smiles on other people's faces.
The victim's older brother released these photos to CBS 8, but he was too shaken up to speak on camera. On Monday night, agents with the San Diego Fugitive Task Force arrested the suspected shooter, also a 15-year-old boy, 3 blocks away from the crime scene. Both the suspect and the victim were students at nearby Mount Miguel High School. Witnesses reported hearing a gunshot early Saturday morning and also seeing the suspected gunman.
Another man was seen running eastbound on Palm, running away from the victim.
A woman attempted to perform CPR on Marquez, but it was too late. Because the suspected killer is a juvenile, his name was not released. But friends of the victim said they are hoping for justice.
And I hope that man rots in prison and never gets out.
Here at the Mount Miguel High School campus, they are offering grief counseling to students who may need it. Meanwhile, the 15-year-old arrested for this crime is due to appear in juvenile court on Thursday morning. David Gottfredson, CBS 8.
All right, David, so sad. Thank you for that report. In the wake of recent mass shootings, San Diego County supervisors are focused on implementing more policies to address gun violence. Today, they voted to seek out policy recommendations that would allow them to sue manufacturers for gun-related deaths. The county's chief administrative officer will now consult with the sheriff and other departments to come up with recommendations. After that, the board will explore their legal options.
People in Mission Beach are sounding off over illegal street vendors that continue to sell near the boardwalk. Earlier today, the Mission Beach Town Council held a rally calling on the city of San Diego to enforce a vendor ban that takes effect next week. CBS 8's Heather Hope has a response tonight from a vendor.
And this is an issue that is heating up on both sides. You have local beachgoers and regular residents that say that it is the vendors who are causing an uptick in crime and in trash. Meanwhile, the vendors that we talked to said they are just earning a living and that they are also paying business taxes.
Stop illegal vending! Stop illegal vending!
Upset at the dozens of street vendors surrounding the Mission Beach boardwalk, members of the Mission Beach Town Council rallied against street merchants.
4th of July is coming up quick. It's time to turn this park back over to the families of the city to use this park on the 4th of July.
Town Council President Larry Webb says Mission Beach is overrun by street vendors who are posing a public safety risk.
There's a direct correlation between the rise of violence and gunfire in and around Mission Beach Park and the influx of uncontrolled street vending.
Resident Tony Sanfelice runs Don'tTrashMissionBeach.com and blamed vendors for leaving a bunch of debris.
Piles of trash that's left on the ground. I'm angry. This is our earth. This is our planet. This is our community.
Jewelry seller Tiffany Hawkins says there are street vendors with their seller's permit and business tax certificate who are doing things the right way.
For me, when I hand make everything and I feel like I'm doing everything right, like I'm just asking, tell me what to do, where to be, and how to do it, and I'll do it. But it's like we're not even getting that option.
Last month, the San Diego City Council approved a sidewalk vending ordinance that will take effect on June 22nd to formally have vendors do business. The new regulations require an issued permit for vending within the city and set stipulations for vendor proximities and distances with mixed enforcement from SDPD and code enforcement officers.
I don't want it to be spoiled for everybody who's really like banking on this for their income.
Again, that city street vending ordinance takes effect next week on Wednesday, June 22nd. We have on our website, CBS8.com, a link to the business application process. Heather Hope, CBS 8.
Thanks, Heather. We continue to monitor a brush fire that's been burning near the border.
The Border 13 fire broke out east of Marin Valley near Border Road yesterday afternoon. It grew to 577 acres within hours. CAL FIRE says that's still where it's at tonight. At last check, it's 15% contained. Crews rescued 5 people. 2 went to a hospital, but we're working to find out their conditions. The fire is not threatening any buildings.
People in North Park reached out to us about a standing water issue on their street. They say puddles of water collect mosquitoes and carry a foul odor. CBS 8's Brian Wyke is working for you to get to the bottom of it and has more tonight from North Park. Brian?
And it's an ongoing issue with mosquitoes, the smell, the eyesore looking at it. It's horrid.
Neighbors frustrated by this standing water in the street that never seems to go away. They say it's been happening for years.
There's just a lot of mud and puddling around and just a lot of sludge that kind of collects.
A common complaint from people around here? The smell.
It's very disgusting, just getting off of work and you just get hit with this pungent smell.
It's really bad. I mean, I'm right over here on the 2nd floor and we smell it depending on the shift of the wind, you know.
Rick Everett has lived in this apartment complex for 2 years, and the puddled water just sits by the curb collecting sludge and mosquitoes.
This has been continuously an ongoing problem. I mean, it comes all the way from down there, all the way over there.
A viewer sent me this video taken outside a home nearby where it seems their sprinkler system is overwatering every morning and causing part of the problem.
Well, there's a pool. It's just wet, and on the sidewalk where it pools up. And the grass is definitely overwatered. It just starts to stream from the middle of the house all the way down past our building.
So Rick and I knocked on their door. They didn't answer then, but later I spoke to a renter who lives there about the sprinkler problem, and he said he would let the owner know about it. Neighbors say this isn't the first time they've complained about those sprinklers, so I called the City of San Diego's water waster hotline and reported it.
I could just see the stream going down, the creek going down, and certain parts that just kind of pools.
We also filled out a Get It Done report to the city about the drainage issue here. Neighbors are just hoping for a remedy.
People don't want to be outside if it smells disgusting. Everyone pays a good amount of rent, and we live in a beautiful community, so if we could nip this in the bud and, get proper drainage out here to alleviate the problem, I think that'd be a great thing for the community.
In addition to calling the city's water waster hotline, I also reported this issue over email. That's waterwaste@sandiego.gov, and the hotline is 619-533-5271. Hopefully we'll get this issue resolved.
Thanks, Brian. Hope to have an update soon. And don't forget, here at CBS 8, we are working for you. If there's an issue you'd like us to look into, email us your stories at cbs8.com.